Hi everyone, hope you're all keeping well. I know the weather isn't as glorious as it has been, but we can still get out and get a bit of exercise, which is great. Right, we're up to chapter 9 of our Saving Grace. And the end of the last chapter, we just had the taxi arriving to take Sammy to Manchester United. So chapter 9, sticky start for Super Sammy. As the taxi drove up to the famous towers of Manchester Ground, my mind was racing. It also seemed to be playing tricks on me. We overtook a big green bus and I was sure I saw Harris sitting on one of the seats looking out of the window. It couldn't be though, could it? I must have been so nervous that I was imagining things. And anyway, even if it was, I had other problems to worry about. I tried to be cheerful about it. Perhaps I could bring off a few brilliant saves in my first training session. Perhaps with a bit of luck and some real effort, I could make the grade. Here you are, Sammy, said the taxi driver with a cheery voice. Manchester United, good luck. I'll be looking forward to seeing you on Match of the Day. That's what really made me change my mind. It was no good pretending. I would never be good enough to do this. I had to think of something else. Perhaps I could have a quiet word with George Pace, the Manchester manager. Sorry about all the bother, George, but there's been a bit of a slip-up and I'm not quite as wonderful as you might think. He would understand. He would probably be a very understanding man and a kind man at heart. Then I met George Pace and I changed my mind again. He was talking to Brian Bovis, the England striker, when I arrived in the changing room. Or rather, he was shouting at him. How many goals did you get on Saturday, Bovis? He snapped. 2, sir, answered Brian Bovis a bit meekly. 2, answered. 2, a measly 2? Hopeless. A tortoise would have done better than that. Yes, sir, sorry, sir. If I could find a shirt that would fit a tortoise, I'd put him in the next game and chuck you out onto the street, Bovis. What have you got to say for yourself? A tear ran down the footballer's face. I have a bit of a headache, Mr. Pace, he explained. A headache, shouted the manager. I'll give you a headache. I can't stand footballers who are not brilliant. Do you understand? And then he turned around and noticed me. And who's this? He barked. I was terrified. I couldn't tell him I was no good. He'd probably kill me. I began to think very quickly. And thank goodness a startling idea leapt straight into my head. Injury. I could be injured in my first move in the first match I played, and no one would ever know. I'm Sammy Swift, I said with a confident smile. Oh, growled Mr. Pace, the Ragley Rangers transfer. Let's take a look at you. I twirled around for him. Not here, you Nelly, on the pitch. Let's see what you can do. Oh dear. Then I couldn't be injured in my first match. I would have to be injured in my first training session instead. Get yourself on the pitch, Bovis. Fire some rockets at this lad and let's see what he makes of them. Brian Bovis led the way down to the pitch. I couldn't help noticing he had legs like tree trunks bulging with muscles. One shot from him would probably send me flying against the stands and out of the ground. I decided I would have to be injured on my way to the training session. It would be no good waiting to actually get on the pitch. I know, I could trip down the stairs. You're in luck, mate, said Brian Bovis out of the corner of his mouth as we laced up our boots. The boss is in a good mood today. A good mood? This was a good mood? I glanced over to where George Pace was standing. He had a face like a bank door, very hard and solid. Not the sort of face you could easily trick. And anyway, I couldn't see anything to trick him with. There was nothing lying around that I could pretend to trip over. I jogged on the spot in the middle of the pitch. It was huge, about 10 times as big as the alley that we were normally playing in at home. I began to bounce up and down on the centre spot, not for exercise. I just couldn't keep still. My legs were wobbling so much that I thought I might fall over. I didn't know what I was more scared of. Brian Bovis's beefy legs or George Pace's rocky face. Have you got elastic arms, lad? Shouted the manager. No. Then you better get in goal. You can't stand around bobbling like that. I trotted off towards the distant goal, and the next thing I knew, I was flat out on the grass. My feet had been whipped out from under me. I wasn't pretending. It really happened. One moment I was running, next I was tripping, as if by magic. Surely it couldn't be. I rolled over and looked around. Yes, there it was, darting up the far end of the pitch and out through the turnstiles, a small black shape with its head well down. Ow! I yelled, clutching my knee. Ow, 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 ow! The others came running over. It's my leg, Mr. Pace. I think I've done something to it. So, what was the dark shape? Do we think it might have been Harris? Chapter 10, we'll get to find out whether or not Sammy has managed to get out of his little deception or not. In the meantime, take care, everyone. Be kind to each other and stay safe. Bye.